Hello, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus time travelers. I hope you're well. Thank you for being here. This is your prediction for February 2026. It's your season, and therefore, happy birthday, my dear. As always, you know the drill. These messages are collective in nature. So as the messages come through today, just take what fits, leave what doesn't, because if it's not your message, it simply means that it is meant for someone else. And don't forget to check out your other placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, which is your ascendant, or your Venus placements. Some people do follow that. I don't, but other people do. So whichever other placements you choose to follow, I do encourage you to do that. Just take the parts from those readings that best align with your current journey, and that'll help you to craft your own unique message for February 2026. And if you don't know what your other placements are, in the description box is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. With all of that said, and that was a mouthful, let's begin. Tapping into the Aquarius collective now for Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. What do they need to know for February 2026? What do they need to know for February 2026? One more shuffle here. Thank you. In the heart of your spread, or I should say our spread, I'm an Aquarius rising. We have the 10 of Swords. In the top row, we have the 8 of Swords. We have the King of Pentacles. And we have the 9 of Swords. Flanking the 10 of Swords is the King of Swords and the 3 of Cups. And in the bottom row, we have the Star. We have the 9 of Cups. And we have the Page of Swords. Sneak peek now into March. Can't believe I'm saying that, but yes, March. We have the Ace of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, and the 10 of Pentacles. And that leaves the 8 of Cups and Knight of Pentacles to 4 of Cups to the 6 of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. All right, we're going to clarify these cards now using the After Tarot deck. If you're not familiar with this deck, the images are different, and therefore the meanings of the cards as well. So let's clarify this now, please, for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. For February 2026, we are clarifying 8 of Swords, King of Pentacles, 9 of Swords, King of Swords, 10 of Swords, 3 of Cups, the Star, 9 of Cups, and the Page of Swords for the Aquarius collective for February. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The 8 of Swords is being clarified by the Ace of Swords. King of Pentacles is clarified by the 3 of Swords. 9 of Swords is clarified by the 4 of Wands. King of Swords is clarified by 9 of Swords. 10 of Swords is clarified by 7 of Swords. 3 of Cups is clarified by the 6 of Pentacles. The Star is clarified by the 2 of Swords. The 9 of Cups is clarified by the 2 of Cups. And the Page of Swords is clarified by the 4 of Swords. Again, sneak peek now into March. Page of Pentacles, the World card, and the Judgment card. And that leaves the Empress, 6 of Swords, 7 of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles here at the bottom of the deck. Aquarius, Aquarius, Aquarius. Your overall energy for the month of February is the 7 of Wands to the 10 of Swords. And there's something here in your life. Could be a partnership for some of you, whether that's professional, platonic, or romantic. It's different for all of you. But you are resisting ending this. You're resisting ending the job. You're resisting walking away. You're resisting maybe changing the industry that you currently work in, or the type of people you surround yourself with. You're resisting ending a friendship or a familial connection in your life, or maybe even a romantic partnership. The feeling here is something needs to change with blank. Whatever that blank is different for all of you. It has to do with a connection in your life. But again, I don't know if it's professional, platonic, or romantic, because this is a collective general reading. But it's like something needs to change within the construct of this connection. But I don't necessarily want the connection itself to end. So you're resisting an ending here. And it appears you're trying to, you know, you're getting into the mind space here with all of these swords of like, how can I change or modify this connection or move it in a direction that would better suit me? Because again, the end goal here seems to be, I don't necessarily want this connection to end. I just want it to change or morph. So the 8 of Swords to the Ace of Swords tells me in the month of February, you are going to have this aha epiphany moment, this breakthrough moment of what has been kind of eluding you here for a while. It's almost like the answer was within you this whole time on how you can change this particular partnership or connection in your life, but it's like you weren't seeing it for whatever reason. Maybe you were too up in your head thinking about it. And sometimes when we ruminate on something and we think about it, we're just sort of replaying the same thing in our mind over and over again. We're not necessarily looking for other ways on how to tackle the issue. We just keep, contemplating, or like I said, ruminating on the same issue. But then there's a break here. And the break is like this, like I said, this aha epiphany moment of, oh, I know what needs to shift, or I know what needs to change. And so with the King of Pentacles here to the Three of Swords, and the after tarot deck, the swords are out of the heart, and the heart here is being mended. So there's a feeling here of like you come up with an idea on how you can either restabilize this connection or heal this connection. Because again, I feel like your end goal here was how to change or morph the connection so it would better suit you, but you weren't really at the end of the day looking to end the connection. You just wanted it to, I heard behave. That's terrible. That's so narcissistic. But again, it's maybe the better word here is function. You just wanted it to function differently, or to function in a way, like I said, that would better suit you. And so with that Nine of Swords to the Four of Wands, again, we see the stability being brought to the mind, but also to the connection itself. And that Nine of Swords is carried over here. King of Swords to Nine of Swords. Again, this is you in your masculine energy, whether you are a masculine or a feminine. But this is you in your higher self holding the Ace of Swords and slaying, because that's in the after tarot deck. What occurs here in the Nine of Swords, we're slaying the Eight Swords, the doubts, the fears, the anxieties, the I don't know, right? I kept ruminating on, how the hell can I change this? Or how can I improve this? Or how can I make this situation better for me and for the other person, or maybe even people involved? And then it's like you get this moment of clarity of, I know what I can do, or I know what I should do. So again, you're resisting an ending here in a particular connection. So you seem to be very much up in your head, and then suddenly there's a breakthrough moment that comes in at some point in the month of February where like, I figured it out. And so Three of Cups to the Six of Pentacles here, you figured out how to restore stability to this connection. This particular connection is able to be like reharmonized or rebalanced. Something here was off in the connection. Either you weren't giving enough to it, or they weren't giving enough to it. Somebody here in the connection, like I said, either you or them, or could be both of you, just felt like the other wasn't fully nurturing the connection. Now, this in a work setting, this could be like your boss feels like they're overcompensating you and you're just not delivering your best form, or you're not showing up in your best form. And then suddenly there's a recalibration here and the two of you figure it out. Maybe your work schedule needs to change, or maybe you need to work 4 days and have 3 days off, or maybe you need to work from home, or something within the construct of the position needs to change. So again, there's like a rebalancing here. If this is between you and a friend, I feel like both of you feel like something's just not working here, and your friend could feel like you're not spending enough time on them, or you could feel like they're not spending enough time on you. Or maybe there's a loyalty issue here at play, where your friend feels like they're always there for you and you're never there for them, or vice versa. Whoever has the issue here, and I feel like for most of you it's both of you, but you seem to be the one who is addressing the issue. And the issue here was there was an imbalance in the connection, and you're recognizing that, whether you caused the imbalance or you were the recipient of it, kind of inconsequential, because it's going to be different for all of you. At the heart of the matter, there was a connection here in your life that you really didn't want to see end, but someone, if not both of you, felt like there wasn't an equal give and take, and you seem to come up with a way or a resolution on how we can rebalance this connection. And so the Star to the Two of Swords, I like this. And the after tarot deck, the decision has been made. And I feel like you have a way here. Like I said, you're coming up with a way on how to heal the connection. The Star card is a very healing card. It's the second strongest healing card for me in tarot. The only other card that is stronger than this is the Sun card. So this is a lot of healing here. Again, it's undecided. Like there's nothing to decide here. You figured it out, and whoever this person is, once you communicate to them your newfound solution, they seem to agree with you, because we have the Nine of Cups and the Two of Cups. So I like this. There's harmony and balance restored to the connection, regardless of who this person is, friend, family member, or a lover. The happiness is restored. The two of you are embracing this new idea that you have on how the two of you can recalibrate this connection. And we have the Page of Swords and the Four of Swords. And this is what I'm talking about. This would be the conversation between you and this other person on how we can heal this connection. And then when we're looking into March, there seems to be a revitalization now. The two of you are on the same page. You both have learned some very valuable lessons in terms of partnerships, again, regardless of whatever this partnership is for you. And there seems to be some long-term investment. Our long-term goals here are being created between you and this individual. It feels very much like the opportunity now to get us to where we always wanted to be. Long-term commitment, long-term stability, long-term job placement. I just feel like you're working it out here with someone in the month of February. The Page of Pentacles, the World card, and the Judgment here in the After Tarot deck. So I like this a lot. There's an offer opportunity given. It is received. A new cycle here gets to begin. I feel like you're getting a do-over, basically, in this connection. And I'm not going to blame you or blame the other person because I don't know what transpired here. But it looks like the two of you are able to come together and make the connection work solely because you came up with an idea on how the two of you can best handle this connection. We have the Eight of Cups, we have the Knight of Pentacles, and we have the Four of Cups. I like this a lot. And the reason why I like this is because in the Eight of Cups, look what you're walking away from. You're walking away from long-term malaise, long-term apathy, long-term discontentment, which was occurring in this connection between you and this person. So again, it seems to me like you're coming up with the resolution on how to fix this particular connection. Again, I don't know who this person is to you, your neighbor, a group of people that you work with, like a community group or a religious group or some type of organization. It could certainly be with a romantic partner, someone you share house and home with, a family member. It could even be a child for some of you with that Page of Pentacles. I just see a strained connection here growing, if you will, or strengthening because of some idea that you have on, I know how I can fix this because I really don't want to lose this person or lose this connection. So tell me about that Eight of Swords here. There definitely was a feeling of an imbalance in this connection. And again, you could have felt that way. They could have felt that way. Maybe it was something shared or mutual. So tell me about the Eight of Swords. What was this that you were thinking about so much? One more shuffle. Thank you. Seven of Cups, that confusion. How do I fix this? The World card. How do we start again? Or how do I end it? Temperance. How do I heal? How do I rebalance, right? Temperance is the ultimate alchemist, if you will. So how do we take our emotions or how we feel about the connection or how do we feel about one another and how do we ground it and root it in reality? And so that was the feeling here. And again, the World card typically depicts the four fixed signs in tarot, one in each corner, and you are a fixed sign. And so I feel like that's lending itself more to that other message where you're the one who is able to break through the confusion, illusion, and you seem to come up with an idea here on how to fix or restore balance to this connection. I have a feeling one of you were about to walk away and you were the one that went, no, wait, this matters too much to me. I don't want to lose this connection. Tell me about the Ace of Swords. What is this idea here? What is the idea here? One more shuffle. Thank you. King of Swords, again, you. So you're the one coming up with the idea. Ten of Pentacles. How do we restore long-term security or long-term commitment to this partnership? Queen of Swords, this conversation you're having with this other person, they could be an air sign, they don't have to be. I feel like it's a conversation here between you and this person on how you can restore this connection. We have the Hermit, we have the Fool, and the Knight of Pentacles. This is like, how do we start again? How do we start again? How do we create a plan here to restabilize this connection? And again, I feel like it begins with you. I think you're taking the lead here. And if I had to be quite honest with you, for one of you watching, I feel like the other person was about to walk away. And the only reason why I say that, you came up very strongly twice here as the King of Swords. So you're leading the charge here on this communication. And this person has their back to you. Again, they don't have to be an air sign. I just feel like this is, both of these signs are ruled by Mercury. I know you're not, but the sword suit in general. And so we're looking at communication in that respect. And so there's something here about, like, I feel like this person was about to turn their back on you, or they were losing interest in the connection. Again, maybe for one of you watching, but again, I feel like you're the one that restores the stability, or you come up with this idea. Yeah, to rebirth this connection with the Death and Rebirth card. Five of Wands and the Strength card to the Four of Wands. I feel like at the end of the day, you really didn't want to lose this person, or you really didn't want to lose your job or something like that. And you come up with an idea on how to approach your boss to say, hey, look, you don't want to lose me as an employee. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to lose you as an employer. Here's an idea I have on how we can restructure this. And again, maybe I need to work from home, or maybe I need a little bit more creativity. And whoever this other person is, I feel like they're going along with it, because we have both of you here sort of embracing, or could be shaking hands, or just coming into agreement, and both being very satisfied with the solution or resolution here that has taken place. So if I had to call this anything as of right now, I would call, like, in the nick of time. You were able to save this connection in the nick of time. Tell me more about this connection. Tell me more about the Nine of Cups here. Tell me more about the Nine of Cups here. One more shuffle. Thank you. The Nine of Cups is clarified by the Ace of Cups. There's a renewal here. Knight of Pentacles with some long-term goal. Six of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, Knight of Swords. Yeah. Because at some point in time, someone was about to walk away. Because there was no equal give and take. Now, it could be you. It could have been you that you were about to walk away. But again, there was something here within you. I really don't want to lose this connection. So again, whether it was you or them or both of you just feeling kind of breadcrumbed, you're the one who comes up with the solution here of, okay, now I have a long-term plan on how there can be some equal give and take, some exchange. So there's a renewal here in a connection in your life in the month of February, thanks to you coming up with a new strategy here. Tell me more about this Two of Cups connection. They could be an earth sign as well with that Knight of Pentacles card, absolutely. Or a fixed sign, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius with the World card. One more shuffle, thank you. We also have Sagittarius there in the Temperance card. So Six of Cups, this connection that you've had in your life for quite some time. There we see justice being restored. Didn't we see the Justice card before as well? No, maybe it was just during shuffling. So we see balance here being restored. Five of Swords and no more arguing. King of Wands, Seven of Cups, and a Nine of Pentacles to the Chariot. So it's almost like whatever idea or concept you have here is able to, like, quell the noise. Because I think beforehand there was arguing or discord. The two of you were not on the same page. And it looks like you're able to restore civility. You're able to restore balance. Like I said, you're coming up with some kind of idea or plan on how you can restabilize and reground the connection. And this person seems to be anyway, wanting to revisit the connection with you and willing to try again. March. Tell me about that Ace of Pentacles here in March. Because this seems to be now, we're planting a new seed. We're doing this connection differently. And the goal here is the Ten of Pentacles to the Ten of Pentacles twice. So both of you appear here to be wholeheartedly invested in making this partnership work. Again, whether it's professional, platonic, or romantic. One more shuffle here. Thank you. This is clarified, again, that Queen of Swords. I don't know who this person is that you're talking to. Queen of Swords, Six of Cups, this soulmate here from the past, and the Four of Cups. Bottom of the deck, Queen of Wands. I feel like whoever this other person is, they would like it to go a little faster. I don't know. I don't know why I'm getting that feeling. They're happy with the progress, but there's something here. It's not moving as quickly as they would like. Six Cups plus the Four Cups is the Ten of Cups. And they're not particularly happy with the progress. They're investing like you are, no doubt. They have the same long-term goal or same long-term vision for the connection, but they're not particularly happy. So let's say this is an issue that you're having at work and you come up with the idea with your boss, like, you know what, I would probably function better if 1 or 2 days a week I could work from home. And your boss says, you know what, I recognize you as a star employee and I don't want to lose you. So sure, I'll give you Fridays and Mondays to work from home. And you're like, yes. And now in March, the two of you are moving forward. There's a new project maybe that you're working on, or your boss has given you the responsibility and you're both nurturing it, like you're both working on it. And although your boss likes to see the progress that is being made, and they still value you as an employee in that Six of Cups, they're not 100% happy, though, that you're working from home 2 days a week. They understand why it's necessary, and they understand that it has created a positive effect on your work, and you're showing up better, and you're putting more effort into your work. So they're going to go along with it. They won't disrupt what is happening here, but they sort of wish that you wouldn't be working at home 2 days a week. That seems to be what's happening here. They're not 100% pleased with the terms or with the progress, but they're still wholeheartedly invested, because they do, at the very least, they realize that the connection is moving forward. Queen of Wands, Five of Swords, Three of Swords. Yeah, there's a feeling here of, well, at least we're making progress from where we were. Because where we were before was we were arguing and we were bickering, and I was up in my head and you were up in your head, and I was about to fire you or you were about to quit. So there is this feeling here of, well, at least we're making progress. And again, if it's a romantic partnership, they're on board, they're investing in this long-term plan like you are. They just wish, like, maybe the plan wouldn't take so long. Maybe it can, it can be sped up or something like that. But again, I don't see them giving up on you just yet. This seems to be more of speed. Whoever this person is, I know you're an air sign, clearly. But there's something here where you're moving a little slower at this than they would like. And I don't know why that is. They like the groundedness that comes from Pentacle energy, but they don't like the slowness of the Pentacle energy. So maybe that's just something you want to be mindful of. Like if this is a new person, and I don't believe it's a new person whatsoever, but let's say by chance this is a new person, and you're like, well, I just met this person and I'm not ready to, accept their marital proposal, and I'm certainly not ready to propose to them because we just met, but hey, I like this person. This could be you coming up with this idea to tell this person, hey, look, I'm out of another connection, right? I know that you're looking for the whole kit and caboodle when it comes to romantic partnerships, but I'm just not there yet, right? I'm still healing and recovering from this past connection, but I'm interested enough in you that I don't want to see you walk away. I will make more time to be more affectionate towards you or spend more time on you. And so then come March, is this person engaged with you? And I don't mean physically, like in terms of getting married, but engaging in the connection with you. Sure, they're going out, they're getting to know you, you're spending time on them, they're spending time on you, maybe you're spending money on them, they're spending money on you, but they're still feeling like, but it's just not moving fast enough. Again, that's just to give you an example, although for most of you, I don't believe it's a new person. Can you further clarify this for Aquarius, please? One more shuffle. Thank you. But maybe for one of you, it is. We have the Seven of Swords, we have the Lovers, and we have the Four of Pentacles, bottom of the deck, Ace of Wands. So, again, if you want to take it as a new person, you can. I don't see it that way. But the issue here seems to be, let me get a yes or no on this. I'm pretty sure this is you. If we get an Ace or Major Arcana card, this will be you. Is this Aquarius's energy here? Is that what I'm seeing? One more shuffle. Thank you. Is this you? Eight of Cups. No. So I believe it's this other person. And I just did this as a yes or no. So this other person understands, okay, whether it's the new person or the current person. Again, I think it's a current person. They understand why the connection is moving the way it is, right? They understand the agreement, the realization or idea you had, the agreement they made to try this, resolution that you've come up with. They're happy with where the connection could be one day. Maybe they're not happy with where it is right now, but they understand it's because you don't want to make a mistake. And like in the after tarot deck, the Seven of Swords, this person is looking back into their past and they don't want to trip up and make the same mistake. So if this is a connection that you're bringing back together again for the purpose of reconciliation, they know that the reason why this is moving so slow is because you don't want to get to the point where the two of you are on the verge of the Ten of Swords again. So they understand your carefulness here. Like this is your choice that, yes, we're going to transform the connection. We have scorpionic energy here meeting the Four of Pentacles. Pentacles. So we're going to hold on to one another, and we're going to move forward, but we are transforming the connection, but we're going to do it very slowly. And that's because, you know, I'm speaking like you, like, I don't want to make any mistakes here. They know that that's why the connection is where it's at. Like, because you don't want to repeat a mistake. Or if by chance for one of you, it is a new person, again, it's like, I understand Aquarius doesn't want to move too quickly because they just came out of a heartbreaking situation and they don't want to repeat that. So again, the feeling here seems to be from this person's energy going along with this idea, this conversation here that you've had with them. They understand it. They're wholeheartedly invested in you. They want to see where it goes. They just wish that it would go by a little faster, but they understand your reservations or your reasoning on why it can't move as fast as they would like it to move. But they are enjoying the transformation that they're seeing in the connection. And if by chance it's a new person, they are liking the fact that you are investing in them. Again, they just feel like, you know, the connection should speed up a little bit. Remember, we saw that Ace of Wands there at the bottom of the deck. If this is a romantic partnership, this individual is someone who's like, well, can we reintroduce physical intimacy, or can we restore it? Or if it's a new connection, can we get there yet? And you may be like, I don't know, because of what happened in the past. I'm a little reserved before I, you know, become that vulnerable with you again. Or if it's a new person, I'm holding back before I become that vulnerable. That's only for those of you where it's a romantic connection. This person could be feeling like, okay, their love is here, the long-term investment is here, but where's the passion? And again, I think they're understanding why you're reluctant to re-engage in that. But they're still missing it nonetheless. So keep that in mind as well. If they feel like they have some needs here, if it's a romantic partnership, some romantic needs or intimate needs or sexual needs that are not being met. But I still don't see them giving up on you. I'm curious to know what the lesson was. There was a lesson here in regards to connections that you had to learn. I'm not focused on the other person. This is your reading. So Page of Pentacles for me is typically someone who has learned something tangible. We have Judgment and we have the World card. And this is your reading. So in March, I almost feel like you have, I don't want to say you've mastered connections or you've mastered how to deal with connections, but there was a particular lesson here in respect to connections that you learned. And I'd like to know what that is for you. And I think you're realizing it in March. You won't realize it until March. What was this lesson here for the Aquarius collective? One more shuffle. Thank you. What was the lesson here? 5 of Cups, 4 of Wands, and the 2 of Cups. Very nice. Very, very nice lesson. 3 of Pentacles here at the bottom of the deck. So what you learned in respect to the 2 of Cups, partnerships in your life, whether this is professional, platonic, or romantic, is that if you truly wanted to be successful and you truly wanted to work, we need to focus on the positive aspects of it as opposed to dwelling on what didn't work in the past. And if it's a new connection, again, your lesson was we need to focus on, or should be focusing on, the positive aspects of the partnership as opposed to what didn't work out at my last job or in my last relationship or in my last friendship. So that was your lesson, was basically not allowing the past to hold you back in an existing partnership or entering a new connection, not allowing the past that you had with someone else to hold you back. Again, taking the lessons that you learned, but not bringing in any resentments or judging this person based on what they did in the past or based on what other people did in the past. And that was a big lesson here for some of you to learn. One more shuffle here. Thank you. This is further clarified by the Sun, the most healing card in tarot. So you've healed this wound within you. 6 of Swords. You now get to move on. Congratulations to your next lesson, whatever that may be. 10 of Swords. I like it. Bottom of the deck, the Fool card. You have a new beginning here in partnerships. And what I mean by that is how you are showing up in partnerships, how you are handling and dealing with crises in partnerships. Whatever toxic behavior patterns that you had or you engaged in, there's an end to that. And in March, it's almost like you get to look back and go, wow, the way I'm reacting or showing up in the connection or a connection or any connection now is vastly different than how I showed up in the past. And there's a feeling here of like you're pretty proud of yourself. You're like, wow, I really healed that wound because I'm showing up differently. I'm interacting with this person or these people differently. You have the Fool, you have the 4 of Cups, and you have the 5 of Cups. All hope is not lost. I think for most of you, this is reconciliation with someone. And it looks like you learned how to show up in connection. how to heal a connection, how to not avoid the difficult conversations in a connection. Maybe these were all things that you struggled with in the past, but for some reason, this particular connection seems to mean enough to you that you didn't want to lose it. I mean, it's like you fought against the ending. Like even if this person wanted to leave or fire you or walk out or end the friendship, you were like, no. Like, no, I'm going to figure out how to make this work because I don't want to lose this person. So bravo, bravo to you. Again, it's going to be different and unique for all of you, but yeah, you learned, you healed a big wound here, a big relationship wound. You have visualized abundance in all forms. That's what you're doing. That's what I was saying. Like, you know what? We're going to focus on the good instead of focusing on what didn't work or what should have worked or, you know, pointing the fingers or blaming one another. Let's focus on the good. And I think that mind shift change from you changes the game here. Putting yourself first. So maybe that was something you were not doing in connections. Maybe that was a lesson that you learned. Successful partnerships mean we both bring our best form. Doesn't mean that I reduce myself or diminish what it is that I have to make your light shine brighter. Or I have to give to you and be an, you know, over giver or a people pleaser. So maybe for some of you, that was also a lesson that you learned, that the best way to balance a connection is to be very mindful of your pentacle resources, your time, your love, your money, and not to give to others to the point of depletion. And then you have conscious consumer. So very interesting. So talk about balance, right? You learned about how to reserve or conserve your pentacle resources, but then also how to be very conscientious of what you are taking in from others. So quite the balance of what you're giving and versus what you are receiving. No more complaining here at the bottom of the deck. So maybe for some of you that was the, or will be, the idea that you have here in the month of February. Is like, you know what, we could resolve a lot of our issues if we just begin to focus on the positive attributes of what we both bring to this particular connection, as opposed to pointing the fingers at one another and saying what you don't bring or what I don't bring. And instead, let's focus on what I do bring and what you do bring. That might be the idea that you come up with here, focusing on the positive. Particularly if it's a connection, what appears here, you really don't want to lose. Okay, so the top one, you have forgiveness. You're on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. Father healing is possible at this time. Again, I feel like this is you coming up with an idea on how to heal a particular connection in your life. You then have focused intention. Think about what you desire, which I believe is healing this connection or not allowing the end of this connection to occur. Set your sights high and expect the best possible outcome. I think you're doing that. I also think by March you are receiving the best possible outcome or seeing the best possible outcome. And then you have cloak of wisdom. You already know the answer you seek. Trust what you know. Maybe that's what it is here. Maybe, you know, maybe at the end of the day, your aha epiphany moment is, I really value this connection. And the best way to nurture a connection is for both of us to verbalize or vocalize what we like best about one another, as opposed to, you know, always blaming one another or pointing out our differences. It could be something as simple as that. Let's get 2 cards here for the top row. Either way, I see you coming up with an idea on how to salvage a connection in your life that you don't want to lose. So this person must be pretty important here to you. Aha, the Lovers and the Coffin. All right, so I'll get to that in a second. Aha, that's exactly what you've done here. So the Lovers in the Coffin, this is a choice, right? Lovers being the ultimate choice card. Do we end this connection? Do we not end this connection? And I feel you are the mature man here, whether you are masculine or feminine, doesn't matter to me. I don't read body parts, but we have card 23 reduces to 5. This card is a 5. I feel like you're the one who comes up with this idea on how to save this soul contract. I just feel like it's for you at this time in your life, you feel like it's too important to lose. We have main female, and we have poverty. Again, I think that you are rescuing a connection here that was on the brink of ending with that Coffin card. And this could be the person who felt like they were in lack, but there's restoration here. We have the Community card, which is a lot like the 3 of Cups card that we had here. I thought we had here. Yeah, we have it right there. So the Community, the Concern card, bad health, despair, thoughts, and marriage. So that's exactly what's happening here. You're finding a way on how to reconcile differences, how to save a connection that was on its last leg, bad health. It was not doing well. You or they, or maybe both, felt like you were in despair. You put a lot of thought into this. We saw that with the 8 of Swords, 2 9 of Sword cards, and then it's like you're coming up with a way on how to save this soul contract. For some of you, it could be a marriage. For others of you, very well could be a connection that leads to marriage. But I know that this month, it's not going anywhere because you're coming up with this fantastic, wonderful idea on how to salvage this connection. So congratulations to you and to this person, whoever they may be. They appear to be important enough to you that you don't want to lose them. So I hope they appreciate that and your efforts. That is what I have for you, Aquarius, for the month of February 2026. If you like this message, it resonates with you, you want to claim all or part of it, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video, if I can get the words out. Hype the video if you're able to do that. And thank you once again for being a time traveler. I do appreciate your support, and I hope that these readings help you with your current journey. Until I read for you again, my dear, I am sending you light, love, and peace.